On today's video, we are talking about the expectation that people get when they visit versus the reality when people live over here. And the reason why we are talking about this subject today is because my husband in his channel just made a video talking about that, living versus visiting. Yeah, I was listening to it and I found the video very interesting. So we decided to discuss it here on my channel as well. Because I guess this comment very often of people when they visiting, and depending on what they're doing when they visiting, they expect or they believe that is the same thing as if they living over here, which I think is very different experience, visiting versus living. So since you already did this topic, you just talk about it in your channel. What do you think about this topic?
I mean, obviously, I thought it was a good topic for me to discuss it on my channel, but I also thought that it was a good topic for both of us to talk about it, because you hear pretty much the same thing that I hear from people, and a lot of times they get it misconstrued in terms of what's it like visiting and what is it like living here. And like I say, I can tell you from my experience when I used to visit here, I mean, it was a totally different experience versus me living here. And I know you probably ask yourself, was it bad or was it good? It's really kind of, I don't know, it's different. Mm-hmm. I think when I first started coming here, I was just more excited by learning and not learning, let me not take that back. I was just so excited about what I was seeing. By living in the United States, you get accustomed to seeing things a certain way. Mm-hmm. And then when you come here and everything looks different, especially 15 years ago, you know what I'm saying? When I first started coming over here, things look really different. So I was just kind of like soaking it all in, versus now. The reason I didn't want to say it, I was learning back then, because I'm still learning now, but it's a different type of learning that I'm doing now. So I think that when they're visiting, that there's a certain type of excitement when you're visiting, and when you're living, it's another type of excitement or newness, should I say.
Yes, exactly. Like when you are visiting, like you just said, when you are visiting, you are very excited. Every time you come, you are trying to get as much as you can in. Like you're trying to do everything fast because you know you have a day that you need to leave. Versus when you live over here, you have your own time. Like you don't have to go like, oh, I plan to go this place today, but it's raining. Oh, okay, I can go another day. So you will take your time to do things and to learn if you are not in that so much rush to do everything.
Right, and before we get into some of the items, just to piggyback off what you were saying, I kind of equate it to like a restaurant and a buffet. And typically when we go to restaurants, we're there for the ambiance, we're there for the environment, the conversation, also for our full course meal, appetizer, main course, dessert, and in between the time we're relaxing. We're not in a rush to do anything. Versus when you're at a buffet, it's more like you're in and out. And when you're at a buffet, what do we do at the buffet? We get our plate and we put a little bit of everything on our plate to try to get a taste of everything before we actually get full. And so I think that's what visiting and living here is like. Like right now, I'm at the restaurant. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I'm able to sit back, enjoy the ambiance, and have my conversation and eat my food when I want to, because restaurants are designed for you to spend some time, and where buffets are designed for you to eat and leave. Mm-hmm. So when people are visiting, they're more like the buffet. They're trying to fit a little bit of everything into that little small window that they have, whether it's, a week, 3 days. I've seen people come over here for 2 days, mm-hmm. And just imagine what you're trying to do in 2 days. So that's what my analogy for it.
Okay, yeah, that's a good example, the visiting versus living, mm-hmm. when you're trying to get everything in a very fast, without time. And the first point that I want to mention it is that you will not spend that much money on food visiting versus living over here.
And when you say food, you mean groceries, right?
Yeah, I mean groceries. And I got that because on my channel, well, on both of my channel I have this comment before, and it's when we talk about, because in both channels I have talked about how much money we spend here every month. And every time that I do this video, you have people making comments as, no, I spend more money than that. I just went visiting over there last week. In 1 week I spent more money than that on food. Yeah, I get it, but the difference is, it's different things that can happen, but the difference is that sometimes when you come over here for 1 week and you know that you're gonna have a whole lot of people visiting in your house, that you're gonna be doing cookout for friends and family, it's different than when you in your house, 3 people living, you just buy the groceries for you to normally eat. So you can buy things that probably you will normally not buy because you know what you're trying to do. Doing groceries, you will not spend the same money when you're visiting that if you live over here, you just buy the groceries for your family.
Yeah, and I agree with that because sometimes, well, when we used to go to Punta Cana and we used to go stay in Airbnb, we would go to, if we're there for like a weekend, we'll go to the grocery store and start buying a whole bunch of things that we actually had here at the house. And what did we start doing? Bringing it from here and taking it there because we were spending a lot of money. It was like, why are we spending this money when we got chicken at home we could have brought with us? So, and then we were doing this every day, you know, going out and grabbing something. So, from the grocery store. So yeah, you're gonna spend less when you're living here than when you are visiting. And like she said, people were saying, oh yeah, I spend, you know, more than $400, $500 a week when I'm there. And to be honest with you, if you're not feeding the entire, let's say, baseball team, I don't know how you're spending $400 a week on groceries. And like I said on my channel, when I addressed this particular point, if you're spending that much, you're absolutely retarded. I just say it on your channel too. You're retarded. There's no way in the world that you should be spending that type of money on groceries. So, and then you find yourself not needing to have to replenish everything. Like going back to what we were saying, we were buying salt, we were buying pepper because we had to season the coffee and all this stuff was at the house.
We have sugar, we have all that here, but that is another thing. You finished with your point? That's another thing. When you are here for a week or 15 days, you buy everything that you will need just to spend that much time, depending on what you want to cook. But when we are here, that we pretty much have we have pretty much a lot of things like season and stuff like that. You just replenish.
Right.
Yeah, buying the things that you don't have anymore to complete whatever you have at home. So it's not the same thing.
Right. And another thing is that when you're visiting, you typically want to try to eat, you know, good every day, you know, a nice meal. When you're living here, some days you just ate. Like what we ate just tonight. We ate a salad, and it was just lettuce, tomatoes. That was it. And we had some boneless chicken breast. That was it. You know, that's not an impressive meal. You know what I'm saying? You're not eating that. And matter of fact, we ate that a couple of times this week.
I eat a lot of salad this week.
And one reason is because we're trying to watch our weight. But yeah, you're not trying to make a full course meal every day of the week. So you know you're gonna save money on groceries. So don't let people tell you, hey man, I went out there and I stayed at an Airbnb and I spent $500 on groceries, and you believe that for that 1 week they spent $500 that you're going to be spending $2,000 a month. It's just not going to happen.
No, that is not the reality.
Right.
And the next point is you don't go out as often. You just to go back to the same thing. When you are visiting, it's the same thing that we just say a few minutes ago. When you are visiting, you're trying to do as much as you can. So you every day you go, oh, what are we gonna eat today? If you ain't cooking in your Airbnb or in the house, you're gonna be trying to go to a restaurant. You're trying to go to visit a museum. You're trying to go to bars. You're trying to do, depending on what kind of vacation you're trying to have. You will try you will try to do as much as you can every day. Every day you have pretty much you are on a schedule doing things because you know that you're gonna leave soon.
Right. You actually have an itinerary, so it's packed for most people. or a lot of people, you know, when they come to places, you know, to vacation. You know, some people come and they just want to relax. They by a beach, they're at an all-inclusive resort, and it's fine. But then you got those who want to pack some adventure into what they're doing, so they're looking to go out to, you know, eat in the morning, eat breakfast, eat lunch, eat dinner, hit an excursion in between that, the mall, and all this stuff they're trying to pack into it. And when you do all this stuff, you're spending money. None of what I just mentioned is free except walking through the mall. So you're not going to be spending money every day on entertainment. And I know some people look at us sometimes and they think that, you know, we're spending money all the time. Like, oh man, they always at this restaurant or they always doing it. And to be honest with you, that is far further from the truth. Now, sometimes we do it. We have a run. Now, we may maybe a month. We may go on a restaurant once a week or something like that. But for the most part, we're not out in restaurants spending money like that. We're just not.
No, we don't do it as often. Sometimes, yeah, it's spending weekends or whatever, depending how we feel. We say, okay, let's go out and eat. But most of the time, we just eat here at home.
And I know why people get that perception, because you may see her put out a video and we're at a restaurant or we're out and about and doing our thing, and then she may not put a video out until maybe another week or maybe a week and a half, and it's the same, a similar type video with us being out, and that could be an old video or it could have been recorded maybe even in the same date. So it may look like we're doing it every day because it's the next video you seen, but you don't realize that a week has passed by.
We don't go out as people may perceive that we do. And that is something that you won't be going out as much during your vacation that you will if you live in a place. And the next point is you won't be hanging out with your friends and in some cases with family as much as if you visiting that living in a place like us here. And in some video also you may appear like I'm hanging out with my family members all the time and we're always doing things, but that is not the case. Well, I do weekly go and visit my dad and my mom, but that is not like I'm hanging out with my family all the time. And it's the same, but when I was visiting here, I was with them more often because it's the same thing. I knew that I have a date where I'm gonna live, and when you have a friends or family that is here, you're trying to spend as much time with these people because you know they live.
Sure.
I mean, sometimes they even take vacation just to spend time with you.
So yeah, you mentioned hanging out with your family because, of course, your family's here. My family, my side of the family is not here, and so I speak from like a expat or foreigner perspective. Like when you come and you're visiting, especially when you're in areas like Puerto Plata, Sosua, you're always seeing people, other foreigners there. So every day you're getting up and you're going out and you're hanging out with these people every day, or you having some type of camaraderie with them. But typically when you move here, it may seem like when you're there that, oh man, these guys are hanging out every day, or some of the expats are hanging out there every day. That's not really the case a lot of the times. People typically, they do have their own lives and they do other things. They're just not always hanging out, and they're not just waiting on you to come around so they can start their day. So just like us here, people come into town and we try to meet people who come into town, but sometimes we can't because, we're living our life. We're doing things that, we can't meet everybody every time they come here. And even though we try to, but sometimes we just can't do it. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, if you have the expectation when you move here that every day you're going to be hanging out with certain people and doing certain things, but what I'm saying is it won't be something that somebody's going to want to do every day. It's, just not. I mean, I don't want to hang out with anybody every day.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, because that's another thing. When you're hanging out every day, you're spending money.
You're spending money. That's the idea that people get that here you need a whole bunch of money to live over here, because at the time when you're here, and you know how you have to do something also with the culture. That is not a secret for anybody that when you have a family member that come from the state, or I don't know, whatever they are, Europe, they make the type of money. When you come over here, a lot of time they expect for you to pay for everything.
Everything.
And also when you invite and people eating you, it's coming out of your pocket. And that's why you spend a lot of money.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
And the last one that we have right now, it is you will not have the same experience as a local. And this is not because you are a foreigner. This is because you will, when you come visiting, you trying to go, you never know the best places to go, or where you can spend less money, how you can maneuver like a local without spending that much money. Since you come to visit, most of the time you can go to places and do the thing like a tourist will do. Oh, I'm gonna go here to the beach or to this area. You will go and pay a tour guide or a tour company to take you there because you probably don't know the area, you don't know how to get there and things like that. When you live here, you make a call. Where is the near river to go? Okay, let's go. Everybody jump in the car. The only thing that you're gonna spend is gas, take something to eat, something to drink, and let's go. And that's how you do it. But if you are a visitor or a tourist, you will call like a tour company to do what you need to do. So you will not have the same experience.
So yeah, I agree that people who come here to visit really don't get the full experience of the culture of the country that they're visiting, because most of the time people are in the tourist area. Now, we know there are some people who do come here and visit often that would disagree, because when they come here, since they've been here many times, they end up, they hang out in Santo Domingo Norte or all in Santo Domingo Este. Some stay in Oeste. So some people do get that that experience as a local, but for the most part, people who are visiting, they don't. Like people who come here in Santo Domingo, they would stay in like Zona Colonial or Gasquet, and what they'll do the whole time they're there, every day, they'll wake up and go to Zona Colonial. And Zona Colonial is a tourist area. It's just nothing but tourist stuff down there. They won't even leave that area to get the full experience or get another experience. And I understand, like I say, Santo Domingo can be overwhelming and you want to know where you're going. But all we're saying is when you're visiting, you don't get that full experience. So even if you're hanging out in Zona Colonial all the time, you may think that that's how the rest of Santo Domingo is, and it's not. Because most people there, or a lot of people there, since they cater to tourists, they speak English. When you leave Zona Colonial area, you're not going to find that much that people are speaking English. You're going to find people that's, of course, speaking Spanish everywhere you go. Mm-hmm. Outside of that area, pretty much. I mean, the girl that Payless yesterday tried to speak English with me.
Yes, so that's something here in Santo Domingo. That even in places where they don't speak English, but when they see a foreigner and they know they speak English, at least they try, or even with signal or something, but they just try.
Right.
So guys, this is the point that we think it will vary visiting versus living over here. So if you have in your mind that every time you come, you say, okay, I'm going to Dominican Republic, I need to package, I need to spend money, $3,000. If you think that's the same thing, just probably in 15 days or in a week for some people, because some people do spend a lot of money. If you think that would be the same thing if you live over here, that you will have to spend that kind of money just because you live here, no, that is not the reality. That is something that you do when you come on vacation.
Right. I think that one of the reasons why I think we made this video, I don't know what was going on in your head when you decided to do it, but
when you talk about my hair, why you was looking at my hair? And my hair look ugly. My head and my hair is different. But I just saw you like doing like that. Like you was looking at my hair.
Man, you looking good with a T. Good.
Okay, thank you.
But I think one of the reasons why I would assume why you decided to make this video is because we want people to understand that when they come here and visit, and they're running around and they're having fun, they're going here, they're going there, they're here in Boca Chica, they're here in Santo Domingo, the next day they're in Samaná, they're in Puerto Plata, Santiago, they're just running around the island, that, oh man, I'm having fun, and you tend to think that that's what the lifestyle is gonna be like. And of course, I mean, if you got the money, you can definitely do that. But most of the people that's living here is not trying to burn through money like that, because all that's just like, you're just burning money when you're doing that. And when you come here and you're living, you kind of want to pace yourself. Unless you got an endless bank account, then, you know, I mean, just do whatever you want to do. But, and also in terms of money, I think people need to understand that too. You're not going to spend as much money as you think you are. If you come here and you're spending more money here than you were spending in the States, then
something wrong.
It's something wrong.
I mean, living. Unless that you're doing extra things that you just because you live here now you want to do it and you will go all extra doing a whole lot of things, then you may probably spend more money here and there. But other than that, I think that it's something wrong.
Well, it's something wrong. I mean, and even if you are, you may do that for the first couple of months or 6 months, however it takes for you to burn out. But at some point, you're going to burn out and you're going to say, hey, I'm spending way too much money. But I recommend you just, instead of doing it all in 3 to 6 months, pace yourself out, you know, and do it. But that's just my 2 cents, is that I just see people who make these comments and they say, you know, I spent this much money. I spent like one, you know, $5,000 a week eating out. Some guy said some ridiculous number like that. It's like, man, what are you doing? You know, it's just unrealistic.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of time also when people come on vacation, they already saving that money. Like sometimes some people come over here once a year, twice a year. During that time, they saving that money to spend it over here. So you already have money that you say, okay, I'm going over there. Yeah, I'm gonna spend that money, you're doing things over there. So you already have a budget that you have in your mind that you want to spend that kind of money.
And that's a good point, because I know when I used to travel over here, once my plane ticket and all that stuff was paid for, you know, I have $300, $400, $500 that I was gonna have for my budget, and guess what? I blow through that in 4 or 5 days. And when I was back in Alabama, there's nowhere in the world I was gonna spend $500 in a week.
Doing what?
Doing what? You know what I'm saying? So that's a great point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So guys, this is all what we have right now. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also share. And if you have any other of these points, you can leave it down below here. Until then, we will see you.
Peace.